from customers and consumers generally is about keyless entry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it the way forward? Do you need to come up with an alternative?
Yeah, good question. So I think probably address that in probably three different ways, if I may. So one is having keyless entry, the ability to walk up, they're great convenience factors for our clients. So the ability to have your keys in your pocket and not have to pull them out. Our clients enjoy not having to get their keys out and use the keys. So it's important and therefore that the technology behind it is secure. So there's two things I'll touch on there. One is we were the first manufacturer to introduce ultra wide band technology to our keyless systems. This system is not vulnerable to this type of theft, this relay attack method that the thieves are using. So when ultra wideband technology is introduced, you cannot go through this keyless entry and this relay attack methodology. The second point is when we're doing our security measures that we're applying to our older vehicles, where we are updating the body control module. This again was another keyless theft method where criminals hack the keyless entry system to start the engine. This security update absolutely prevents that from happening.
Okay.
So in situations of where the car has the ultra wideband technology or has the BCM update, there is zero attack through keyless entry systems.
Okay. And you've been investing in this.
Yep.
How much have you invested?
So the historic part, we spent well over £10 million in developing the software and deploying that software to our clients.
Is it enough?
We'll continue to spend and invest where we need to solve our clients' problems, to improve the security of our vehicles.
I mean, you've just outlined to me there two very common ways that, of course, criminal gangs are stealing and targeting high-value vehicles.
Yep.
These people are incredibly sophisticated. You know, if they want the vehicles, they will find ways. What are you doing to make sure that as a group you keep ahead, to make sure that you can keep up with them?
Absolutely, fair challenge. So again, multifaceted as you would expect. So we work really closely with the police, the various police forces across the UK. And we have a dedicated team in our security function who have relationships with the police, so we can understand when one of our cars is stolen, we get to see that car, we get to visit and understand why it was stolen, and therefore understand is there something we can learn from? How do we understand, is that an engineering, is that a software update? How can we help prevent that?
So you've invested heavily, but of course, as you say, it's criminal gangs that are behind so much of this. And these gangs are incredibly sophisticated. And if they want the vehicles, they're highly desirable. They're going to do their best to get them. What are you doing as a brand to make sure that, yes, you've implemented these measures, but you're aware of what might be coming next?
So, yeah, again, great question. If we look at that, we fundamentally engineer our vehicles to be robust against all the methods that we know about, and all of the technology criminal gangs might be using today. So to ensure we have the latest technology, and clearly, as we touched on earlier, that is recognised and endorsed by third-party experts. We continue to have a strong residual value. So there's good demand for our product there that shows that people still desire our products. And we have the ability to deploy software over-the-air updates to our vehicles. So we can continually enhance security of our vehicles and make sure we're seamlessly and conveniently updating the vehicles for our customers. And of course, we continue to work with police and government around how do we tackle organised crime and really get to the root cause of theft, and really make vehicle crime a prioritisation for the police forces across the UK. Security team talk about this a lot, is that we just make sure all of our clients are doing the basics really well, making sure we're double locking the car. So that makes sure they are fully securing their vehicle. So that ensures the alarm is fully activated by double pressing the buttons. And we do know from a significant proportion of recovered vehicles from theft that often they are unlocked at point of theft. So double locking the car is really important. Use of our In Control app is really important as well. So therefore clients can monitor their vehicle while they're away from it. So they can remote lock their vehicle. And we have Guardian mode on our apps as well, which will advise a client if they've left it unlocked, the app will notify them they've left their car unlocked and therefore they can lock it.
Okay, let's turn to some specifics now. So cars that have been built between 2018 and 2022 are the most effective. And you did a recall, a security enhancement update. How many cars have had this security update? Where are you with that now?
Yeah, good question. First thing I'd like to say is it's not a recall. So really important point. This is about us. This is a software enhancement to help our clients improve the security of their vehicles. It is not a recall.
Isn't
any of
that
our
just
clients.
language? Isn't
No,
that just
it's
like
really-
you say potato, I say potato?
No, it's not, because I think it's an important point
Okay.
to qualify. It's not a recall. This is a complementary update to improve the security of our clients' vehicles. And this is part of a multi-million-pound investment, well over £10 million for us to upgrade the security of our older vehicles. And as I said earlier, this is around security that was not available, or software that was not available at the time the cars were built, that is now available, that we've developed, that we can apply back to those vehicles to improve the security of those vehicles. And our statistics show once that enhancement is applied, these cars are not stolen through a keyless attack.
So where are you at with that rollout of that enhancement?
Yeah, so we're doing it in phases. So we're doing it so we can manage it through with our clients, make sure we can do it in a responsible way and also in a proactive way. So with the first phase we launched, which was for old model Range Rover and old model Range Rover Sport, we're just shy of 80% complete on that. About 6 months ago, we launched the next phase. So we're about halfway through that, which is some of our other models. And then as we roll through the completion in each one, and as we sort of get to 80, 90% completion, we launch the next enhancement program. Okay. But clearly what we're targeting is when we look at the theft of data and our client information around insurability, let's target those vehicles where either the thieves have been targeting them or where the insurance industry is less inclined to insure the product. And that's also postcode based. So we'll look at where the hotspots are. Okay. And then we target the clients there to protect them as fast as possible. Okay,
that makes sense. And do you have a date that you're all working to when, all of those vehicles will have had the enhancement?
We are working as fast as we can, absolutely. We really need our clients to take action when they receive the letter from us. So some of this comes through DVLA data that we can see, because clearly some of these cars are 4, 5, 6 years old. We may not have all that client data. So we can write to them once and ask them to come in and complete, but we really need our clients to come and get that complementary software updated.
Still slip through the net and we'll find their vehicles difficult to insure or impossible to insure.
And that's the case for us and for many other people.
So despite the fact that you have launched JLR Insurance, there are still customers who may find it impossible to insure their vehicle.
And that unfortunately does happen. That's an industry-wide issue. Ginny, when you look at the combination of driver, vehicle, location, history, all those factors together, that is a potential scenario for a client. Clearly, we're trying our best to mitigate that. And clearly what we have seen across the industry at large is rising premiums, a changing view of risk and cost associated with insuring cars, which means the industry at large is taking a different view on insurance, the cost of insurance and the likelihood of insurance.
Why do you think that JLR is really being hit hard by this? Because just anecdotally, I was insuring a vehicle for a job that I was doing recently, and there was a clause on there right at the top of the policy that said if my vehicle was a Land Rover or a Range Rover over a certain value, there would be an additional premium that I would have to pay if I had an accident. I've never seen that before. So what is it about your cars that are making insurers so wary?
And again, fair challenge, uncomfortable challenge, but fair challenge. It's when you look at the historic theft data. Okay. So the insurers have seen a high theft rate on some of our older models. That theft rate is significantly dropping. So with all the security enhancement we've done, and clearly with our newer products, which are very hard to steal, they haven't seen that reflected in their data yet. So when they look at their historic risk, their historic losses, the theft data around our product, which are high value products, which are generally exported, stripped for parts and exported, or then exported as a whole vehicle, the recovery rates are lower. So therefore their costs of insuring and writing off that car becomes higher. So we make up a higher proportion of their risk and their losses. And therefore when they look at their book going forward, is that a risk they're prepared to take? Clearly we're working with them to demonstrate that risk, that historic risk, is no longer present. And we're building their trust around that. And we're sharing the data, as I mentioned earlier. And clearly with our own product as well, we're investing in showing we have enough confidence in our own product as well.
I've been talking to you today, Paddy. It genuinely strikes me that both you, quite personally, but also the company are now taking these issues that are impacting on your customers really seriously. But this has been going on for years and years. I mean, I've reported on this issue many, many times before. Are you guilty of not having done enough in the past?
That's a great and tough question. Do we take this seriously? Absolutely. So am I personally committed? Is the team personally committed? Yes. Do we have the full attention of the JLR board? Absolutely. And we have the funding and resource to fix this for our clients. We have taken this seriously for a number of years, and a lot of the solutions that we've now got in market, clearly they take a number of years to develop and understand, and we have to invest, and then we can release the software enhancements, the security enhancements when we've robustly tested them, and make sure they're fit for purpose. So when we launch it, it works. So it's really important that there is time invested in getting things right before it comes to market, and that's a number of years in development. The work with the police has been ongoing for a number of years to understand how are our vehicles being attacked, what are those theft things, and how do we then counter them? And absolutely, the engineering and the work we do at Thatcham, that has been going on for a number of years around how do we make sure the security of our vehicles is industry leading.
Okay. What would you say to customers out there? And let's face it, you have an incredibly loyal customer base. You know, you really do. But what would you say to customers who perhaps now are thinking, well, I don't know if I might try a different brand next time. I'm not sure if I want these issues, if I want to pay premiums that are that high. What would you say to them?
I would say understand their challenge. I would ask them to talk to their local retailer, talk to the teams they have the relationship with, understand our latest brands and products, how that product works for them, and how the work we're doing with insurance and our own insurance product will make sure that the whole ownership package is attractive to them. Because I'm confident, we've got great brands, we've got great products, they really work for our clients, and we will make sure that they have the ability to access those products more and more again in the future.
Okay, I'm going to start to wrap this up now, but I'm just interested to know from your point of view, what next? What are your next steps, I guess, both personally and also as a company?
So I guess they're both intertwined, quite frankly. So we have a daily kind of management control around this. What are the statistics? What's happening? How do we work this through? So again,
how confident are you that that school of thought is going to change?
I'm very confident. We are tackling this in many different ways, from the police engagement, from our own product to working with the insurance industry. We are dedicating lots of people to getting this fixed for the benefit of our clients. We absolutely understand this is a challenge and we need to make this right for our clients. So we will get this right.
Now, obviously, we don't have anyone from the insurance industry here for me to question and to put here their side of it. But I do very much hope that at some point we can come back and pick up this conversation
Definitely.
and perhaps find out that, yes, that confidence you were right to have that confidence. But this is a real priority for you personally.
Absolutely. Personal priority. This is a daily meetings around this, daily understanding of what's going on. What do we need to get this right? What's the next step in terms of what insurance company do we talk to next? How do we build their confidence? How is our own insurance product performing? When we're understanding who is getting quotes, who's not getting quotes, if they're not getting quotes, why? How do we make sure we can get them quotes? And then also looking at the historic park and security investments we've made in terms of what other investments do we need to make? How else do we protect our cars? What other engineering solutions can we roll out to our older cars